Hi, I'm James Bradley. I've been the chair of USHPA's Strategic Planning Committee since about 2011, and I'm the primary architect of the proposal to change USHPA's governance, which is coming up for a vote. Today I'd like to take a minute to explain the diversity component of elections under the proposal. You could wonder if we're just being trendy or politically correct. I think in today's culture, diversity sometimes is those things rather than something meaningful. It's not that way here. There's a lot of research on diversity in business work teams. The results are very consistent. Diverse teams make better decisions and do better work. It didn't take my committee long, once we started looking into it, to decide that it's important to have actual diversity on the smaller board. This is just a quick reminder of why we're all here. We came up with a framework that would support diversity on USHPA's board in national elections. There are many kinds of diversity that could be interesting for USHPA. We picked 4. These can be changed in the future if another set comes to seem like a better idea. The first one is region. The membership feedback over the summer expressed that a lot of people were concerned about losing regional representation, even people who were in favor of changing to a smaller board. We were thinking about how could we put that back in while keeping other things about the proposal that we liked. It naturally fits in as one component of diversity on the new board. The next piece is wing type, age, and gender. And age and gender have the same number here because we're prioritizing them equally. Possible values for each. We redistricted the country into 5 larger regions. You can fly a hang glider or paraglider. You can be older or younger, and of course we had to draw the line somewhere. There won't be a big difference between a 39-year-old and a 41-year-old, but there will be a big difference perhaps in perspective between a 25-year-old and a 65-year-old. And of course gender. We set some goals. We'd like to have at least 1 from each region, and this is guaranteed as long as all regions field viable candidates. We'd like to have at least 3 hang gliders and 3 paragliders, at least 3 younger people and 3 older people, and at least 2 women. Let's look at a sample election, fantasy election, and see how this might play out. So there are our diversities, there are our priorities, possible values for each, the goals for each. Now, in any election, we'll be electing 4 directors. 4 seats will be open. The other 6 seats won't be up for election that year. The other 4 elected will be up the following year. Every elected director has a 2-year term and they're staggered. The appointed directors are appointed by the elected 8 to fill any gaps that might occur, like maybe we don't elect anyone who has qualifications to be treasurer. In order to look at how this will work in an election, the first thing we have to look at is the diversity profiles of the sitting board, the ones who are not up for election this year. These are just made-up people. In my committee, we played through a number of examples of groups of people, and this is just one for example to show you how it works. On the red line, you can see what's needed in each column to achieve the goal for that column. And this is a sled ride in the morning, smoke on. With the sitting board established, now we move to the candidates for this election. In order to make it into the candidate box, you have to be what we call a viable candidate. What we mean by that is we don't want anyone to be able to be elected to the board with just 20 votes, regardless of their diversity profile. So you have to get 5% of the people voting in that election to make you one of their 4 choices for you to make it into the candidate box as a viable candidate. In other words, if 2,000 people vote in the election, 5% of that is 100. Everybody gets to vote for 4 seats, 1 vote for each open seat. So you need 100 people to make you one of their 4 selections in order for you to be a viable candidate and make it onto this box. If you don't make the viable candidate list this year, okay, you're welcome to run again next year. Okay, so our first priority is region. We need someone from Region 5 in order to complete our goal of having at least one director from each region. We look down in order of votes gotten. The highest director from Region 5 is number 5 in the list. So they're in. Now we have success in column 1. And because that also happens to be a younger person, we made a little headway in column 3 as well. This is a World Cup race in Brazil. So we move on to column 2. We would also move on to column 2 if we didn't have anyone in the candidate list from Region 5. That would mean we can't complete our goal in regions this time, and that would also get us to move on to column 2. In this case, we've been successful with regions, and we're moving on to column 2, which is wing type. To complete our goal in column 2, we need 2 hang gliders. Top vote getter who flies a hang glider is number 2. So they're in. We need one more. That's number 6. So they're in. And now we have success in column 2. When we move on to priority 3, which is age and gender together. There's a hang glider. Is that Sun Valley? Okay. Age and gender. We're giving them equal priority. So we look to see which one is farther from the goal. And in this case, we need one more young person, 2 more females. Gender is farther from the goal. If they were the same, say we needed one more of each, then we would take the top vote getter who advanced either one. In this case, gender is farther from the goal, so we look down for the top female and we add them. Now we've completed our 4 seats. We have filled our 4 seats for this election. The way this plays out will depend a lot on the pool of people running in a particular year. If we only have 4 viable candidates, none of this will apply. All 4 of them will be on the board because we have 4 seats to fill. As soon as we have more than 4 viable candidates, we'll go through this process to choose which ones will become board members this year. You might say, gee, we're not taking the highest vote-getting candidate. What's up with that? And what's up with that is just that we think something else is more important. We think a diverse board is more important because otherwise there would be a time when we had a board that was almost all older male paraglider pilots from Region 1 or some other similar set. That won't happen with this process to manage it. And that top vote getter who happened to match the diversity of some other people on the board, well, those people will be up for election next year. So he can run again next year. Well, how did we do? Pretty well. In this case, we were successful in our goals, priority 1 and 2, and we made some headway on the others. It's a good result. It's a pretty diverse board. It's a good thing. I hope this explanation has been clear. Please inform yourself well, read the other materials that are available online, and make sure you vote when the time comes. This is an important moment in the organization for choosing the direction of its future. Thanks for listening today.